In the vast starry sky, there is a star. Its name is Atreus. This star forms a constellation of war called Pantheon with 3 other stars. The main character's name in the story of this video is the same as this star. Atreus was born in a tribe called Recor at the foot of Mount Targon. Atreus was not the strongest and the most skilled with weapons of all the young warriors of the tribe, but his perseverance must be the strongest. This kind of perseverance made Atreus and another young man named Pylus in the tribe, who was very strong and well skilled in using weapons, became rivals. The reason is that Pylus needs a lot of strength every time he fights Atreus in the arena. No matter how many times Pylus knocked Atreus to the ground, Atreus would not admit defeat.
I am the tip of the spear, raised against surrender.
Then one day, Atreus went to a place in Record's region with Pylus and a group of other teenagers to patrol, but was ambushed by invaders. All except Atreus and Pylus were killed. The 2 former rivals helped each other under the threat of the enemy and confronted the enemy with difficulty. However, there were too many enemies, so they eventually fell on the battlefield. Although both Atreus and Pylus were seriously injured, neither of them died. Atreus carried Pylus on his back with amazing perseverance for 3 days and returned to the tribe. After this trouble, Atreus and Pylus soon became good friends. Later, because they were dissatisfied with the behavior of the sorcery and the laissez-faire attitude of some elders in the tribe towards the invaders, they decided to climb Mount Targon together so as to gain God's power and destroy the invaders. As they climbed for several months, the environment around them became more and more harsh, and their companions disappeared one by one due to the harsh environment. In the end, only Atreus and Pylus were alive. After they endured an unbearable pain, they found that there was nothing on the top of Mount Targon. Pylus couldn't hold on any longer and died in the cold. Atreus rolled in disappointment because of the death of his best friend. At this moment, a door appeared in the front of Atreus. Through this door, Atreus saw a huge city beyond the comprehension of mortals. A man ahead of him held out a hand, waiting for Atreus' response. Atreus looked at the dead Pylus with a blessed smile on his face and stretched out his hand, then entered the city of Targons. It has been a year since the invaders last invaded Recor. Now, invaders have invaded the tribe again. Just when they wanted to attack a sorcery temple on Mount Targon, a shooting star flashed across the sky. A man with a golden shield and spears appeared before them. The people of Recor tribe recognized his face. He is Atreus, but he is not Atreus as well. He has now become the Targon of War, Pantheon. The story actually just begins. At the beginning, Pantheon thought that though Atreus had good perseverance, his other aspects were too ordinary to be his career. In fact, Pantheon came down to Runeterra with a mission, which was to destroy the living weapon, Darkness. Pantheon believes that even if Atreus has obtained the power of him, he still cannot complete this mission. So he took Atreus' body and will directly. However, Atreus' great perseverance did not let him die. His consciousness was sealed away. He could barely see how Pantheon used his body. After finishing off the invaders, Pantheon searched for the traces of Darkin in Runeterra. Not far from Mount Targon, he found Atrax, the Darkin Blade. The battle of them hit the ground and hit the sky, and finally the impossible thing happened. Atrax's god-killing blade was driven into Pantheon's chest.
Hail, Pantheon! See the weapon I have become! Let me hear you cry of friendship! Let me hear you scream of brotherhood!
Pantheon, the Targon of War, died under the sword of Atrax. Pantheon died, but the will of Atreus, whom he looked down upon and sailed away, woke up at this time. Although his chest was pierced by a big sword, the first thing Atreus did after he was able to control his body was to spit at Atrax.
I fight until the blood takes the spear from my grasp, until I can only crawl. And even then, you will not defeat me. Even then, I will spit in your face.
Atrax, having no desire for mortals without any power, drew his sword and flew away. Hours later, Atreus fought back the pain and stood up again. Atreus' life was full of failures, but no number of failures would shake his will. Using his dilapidated body, Atreus walked back to the tribe just as how he had carried Pylus back. In front of the gate of tribe, Atreus finally couldn't hold on and fainted. When he woke up again, he found that Pylus' wife was taking care of him. There, Atreus realized he spent his life looking to the stars, never considering what lay beneath. Unlike gods, mortals fought because they must, knowing that death lay in wait. It was resilience he saw in all life, the threats of unending. Invaders invaded the tribe again, and Atreus rushed to the battlefield in order to protect his tribe. There, Atreus learned that they had actually been driven here by Atrax. Atreus took up the Targon's weapon and chose to fight with Atrax. Although Atrax didn't take him seriously at all, even though he never won. But at this moment, everyone is shouting for him. The will of the mortal awakened the power of the Targon that slumbered within him. He gathered all the power in his body into the spear in his hand and cut off Atrax's sword arm. Atreus won the battle.
Atrax has slaughtered gods, but now he faces a man.
At this moment, Atreus saw that the star which had the same name with him in the sky was shining again. After the war, he wanted to return to his tribe, but he knows that he needs to use his power to fight for mortals against Darkin and Targons and stop their destructions. Atreus gave up his name and became the new Pantheon. That's all for this video. Subscribe my channel. In the next video, I will bring the story of the aspect of Twilight, Zoe, who became the career of the Targon in another way.